The steering feels very, very strange. It's a little bit of a worrying sign. Having to use quite a lot of steering lock initially. You can see the car is just sliding off the track. Ooh. Hi there guys, and welcome to this YouTube video. My first one on this channel, and yeah, really excited to sort of start making content alongside doing, of course, the esports competitive stuff. So today is a pretty exciting day. We finally had some news from Rennsport. Obviously, they've been very quiet since the end of the ESLR 1 season last season, or at the end of last year, just near the end of November, sort of when we were all out in Jönköping for the DreamHack final. Yeah, we've sort of sat anxiously for the last sort of 4 or 5 months with no real news on the game, no updates sort of coming through or anything like that. But yeah, as you can see here on the screen now, March 27th, which was yesterday, they released this, the 1.8.0 build for the beta. So today we're going to have a quick look at the patch notes, see what they've actually changed, and then get out on track and give them a go. So first and foremost then, looking through the sort of new content, they've added Goodwood, the hill climb track. For me, with the ESLR 1 build, we had access to all this stuff for the last sort of year and a half or so, same with the Mission R, so that's not really any concern to me. Some of the new features include like a time trial mode. They've added a day-night cycle at Spa, which is quite cool, so they're making their first steps towards endurance racing and having the facilities in place to host endurance events, which is really exciting. They've got proper headlights, or proper car lights for all cars. They've implemented car brakes heating visuals on the brake discs. Tire deformation and wear visuals on the tires, which is quite cool. Not that it really matters to us at the moment, because we can't obviously see the tires from where we are in the car. And then there's quite a few new sort of things revolving around the graphic set and stuff. In general, there's a few more changes here, but again, all I'm really interested in seeing here is what they've done to the cars and what they've done to the physics. So first and foremost, they've corrected the aero balance on the BMW car. I've never actually really driven. I think I've done 5 laps in the car ever, sort of in my life on Rennsport, so I'm not really sure how that's going to affect things. I'm not really sure what corrected means. I'm wondering if that's just sort of a bit of a balance change. Like, is the car generally going to handle a bit more neutral or a bit more understeery compared to, I think in the past it was very sort of oversteery, especially on throttle. But again, I've not got any real experience with the BMW, so I can't say. They corrected the top end torque as well on the Porsche GT3, so that should slow it down a little bit in the straights. The Porsche was very quick last year on the straights. It was one of the hardest things to sort of contend with that car. And they've also had some shift lights corrected on all cars, and all cars have more drag. Now this is an interesting one for us, because in a lot of the tracks last season we did see that there wasn't much overtaking. It was very tricky to follow with the dirt air and stuff like that. We didn't really get a huge sort of pull of draft until about 3/10ths back, but being 0.3 back on the exit of a corner was really tricky because of the dirt air. So tracks like Road Atlanta, we really struggled. Spa even was tricky at times. The middle sector was so hard to stay within like a sort of competitive range. So yeah, I can't test that today. Obviously, I'm just here by myself, but once we get the rest of the team on the grind, we can really start to see how this is going to affect racing. This though is the big one that we're going to be testing today, the physics. So improved GT3 tyre behaviour. Now I'm going to say improved because we ultimately don't really know yet. They're claiming that they've got more consistent grip, reworked slip curves, so I'm assuming that's to try and make the cars slide less, because of course last year we slid the tyres a lot. That was the best way to go quick. And it didn't really have any downsides, to be honest. It didn't really overheat the tyre or anything like that. There was no benefit to just sort of driving it in a sort of iRacing style, where it's very much, you know, you stay within the grip curve and you don't ever slide the tyre sort of thing. In Rennsport, it was the complete opposite. They've also stated as well that there's going to be better tyre cooling. The tyres should now last longer, which is an interesting one. Of course, we did see massive fall off in the ESLR 1 races last season. There were only 15-20 minute races, but again at Spa we were seeing almost 2 seconds of drop off. So this will be a really interesting one. Road Atlanta as well was the same. We had quite a big drop off there. It was almost a second. So yeah, we're going to get out on track now. We've had a bit of read through of these. There is a lot more added on here. There's a lot of changes that Rennsport have added, and in the process actually of recording this video, they have now also released another patch today, the 1.8.1. In terms of here, there's no changes to driving physics. It's just a sort of known issues thing. Nothing. This is literally the extent of the patch notes here. There's nothing crazy in here that's going to affect what we're going to be doing. And I should also say as well, I did do some driving yesterday just to get used to it. So we're going to get out on track now and have a bit of a crack. So then, sort of straight off the bat, one of the big things I've noticed is the FPS is not as good as it was before. So we did used to get around 240 pinned if we sort of capped it, whereas now we're hovering around like sort of 220. So let's get out on track then. The steering feels very, very strange. You see I'm sort of moving the wheel left to right here, almost 45 degrees, and it's not really doing much on the straight. So that to me is a little bit of a worrying sign. Having to use quite a lot of steering lock initially to get the car to turn, but then when you do get to a certain amount, the car just sort of hooks into the corner. Looking at the straight line speed as well, way down on last year. Close to probably 6 k's down. Close to 6 k's down on the top speed there and towards the hairpin, so the drag is definitely having an effect. And we'll try braking at the old brake point, which is about here. And you can see the car is just sliding off the track. Ooh. So yeah, straight off the bat, less grip from the tyre. Braking distances are increased. And yeah, the steering is just going to take an awful long time to really get used to be honest. So we'll do a few laps, see what kind of lap time we can get down to initially, and also keep an eye on the tyre temps. Alright then, onto our first lap then, our first proper lap I should say. And to be honest, straight away, I'm feeling that the reworked slip curve is not, it's not really working as I expected. Feels like I have to slide the car more now to be quick, which is intriguing. Certainly at higher speeds it feels like there's a lot more drifting going on. Try braking a little bit earlier for this corner now. Yeah, there we go. And I think as well, no TC is definitely still the meta, unfortunately. Low speed there. There's a lot of understeer. A lot of understeer. Same here, big understeer. Get the nose in over the curb, and then it's oversteer on the way out. And yeah, I mean the tyre temp's 128 on the left front. That's after a Q lap. Let's try out the headlight flash as well. Oh wow. Okay, I'm not sure on that. The headlight flash is more like a speed camera going off. I'm not sure how in the middle of the afternoon there's that much reflection off of a guardrail or a fence. Very odd. Yeah, I mean we're over 2 seconds off sort of where we were at the end of last year, so the increased drag has slowed the cars down a lot. The tyre grip overall seems to have had a massive effect as well. And yeah, just all in all, it's not a... I mean, it wasn't an intuitive experience before, to be honest, but now even more so, it feels very, very odd. Yeah, really, really hard to sort of explain how this feels. Like the first 45 degrees of steering lock, there just doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot of anything going on. And then once you get to 45 degrees, all of a sudden, the car really just rotates into the corner. So, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure on what to make of this. Obviously, we'll get a better idea when we get multiple cars out on track. And we'll really start to see how the increased drag is affecting the racing. Is there going to be more overtaking? Is there going to be less? Is there going to be more dirt air? How's everything going to work there? But yeah, in general, just to sort of sum the whole build up, I'd say disappointed, to be honest. Yeah, the driving physics haven't really taken a step forward in the way that I'd have hoped. You know, all last year we didn't really see many updates. Certainly no physics updates anyway for the game. So we were kind of hoping that throughout the winter we'd really see a big sort of push to get the game moving forward and keeping up with the development speed of the likes of iRacing and ACC and, you know, Le Mans Ultimate as well, which is obviously just released not too long ago. So yeah, it's not a good sign, I'll be honest. Yeah, like the game just doesn't feel as good as I thought it would feel. I feel like the driving experience has taken a step back. The in-game performance has definitely fallen off. The FPS is poor. You know, we're running 4080 graphics cards with, you know, strong CPUs. I think we're like an i7-13700K or something. Like, these are top end systems running on a Samsung Odyssey ultra wide screen. So, you know, we're running 240 Hz, 1440p. It's intensive, sure, but you know, if I go and play iRacing, I'm getting 300-400 FPS on the system in a Rennsport with everything on almost minimum. I'm struggling here. You can even see just sitting here, I'm struggling to hold 200. So, yeah, I think there's definitely some work to be done, and we'll have to see if Rennsport can have a quick enough turnaround to make some changes before the ESLR1 season starts. Hopefully we'll get an announcement on that soon as well. I'll make sure to share the news on that when it's public and when we know what's happening. But yeah, with that, guys, that is a quick look at the new Rennsport update. As I say, a little bit disappointing. But yeah, if you've got yourself a beta key, make sure to jump on the game and give it a try. See what you guys think for yourselves, and make sure to pop it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.